All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live, page by page reading and commentary of the modern English version of the Bible. I'd planned on doing this reading a little bit earlier today, but I had something very unexpected occur, so I wasn't able to. I also wasn't able to do a video live stream I was hoping I could do earlier in the day, but that's all right. Um, had a good day today. On a personal note, I had a good day. Some unexpected things happened. Um, I guess early in the day, I found myself feeling a little disappointed in the young woman that I mentioned on this channel's most recent Bible reading. Um, from my perspective, it looks like she has given up on herself. Um, it's sad for those of you who might be listening to the stream for the first time. There's a woman who I recently decided I really wanted to help and have forgiven when it's come to some horrible things that she said about me and some people that I love, but she doesn't want to help herself, which is very interesting. And when I look at some of the energies and people who are around her, I mean, she really has the worst of the worst around her, which is unfortunate. So, being that I am someone who loves and respects myself, and I'm not willing to subject myself to certain dangers, I do have to take some steps back. And this particular woman, I think, routinely does push people away who try to help her. But what can you do when it comes to someone like that? But what I can do, I guess, is spread awareness when it comes to the kind of situation that she's in, so that hopefully some other women look at her situation maybe as an example as to what not to do. So I will continue to document her situation to the best of my ability. But as far as direct contact with this person, no. And I'm probably going to have to ban her from my chats going forward also when I think about it. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling there. Let me go ahead and take us back into the second book of Samuel, and we're going to go into chapter 21. David avenges the Gibeonites. And let's see, is that the only thing that this chapter covers? Also, this chapter goes into wars with the Philistines. So we'll read that. So here we go. Now there was a famine in the days of David for 3 years, year after year. And David called upon the Lord. The Lord said, "There is blood guilt upon Saul and upon his house, because he put the Gibeonites to death." So the king summoned the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now the Gibeonites were not from the Israelites. Instead, they were a remnant of the Amorites, although the Israelites had made a pact with them. Saul attempted to destroy them in his zeal for the people of Israel and Judah. David said to the Gibeonites, "What must I do for you? And with what may I appease you, that you may bless the inheritance of the Lord?" The Gibeonites said to him, "We have no concern for silver or gold from Saul or his household, nor is it for us to put any man in Israel to death." He said to them, "What are you saying I should do for you?" He said to the king, "Regarding the man who put an end to us and planned to exterminate us from the entire territory of Israel, let 7 of his male descendants be handed over to us, and we will hang them before the Lord at Gibeah of Saul, the chosen one of the Lord." The king said, "I will hand them over." But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, on account of the oath of the Lord that was between them, between David and Jonathan and the son of Saul. Okay, so we're going back now to references of David's friend Jonathan, who unfortunately was killed. And don't forget, Saul was the person who was basically the king that David followed. But Saul was very jealous of David after the whole David and Goliath situation. That was when David rose to power. And Saul basically almost stalked David to death, but God protected David at that phase of his life. So the king took the two sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, Armoni, and Mephibosheth, whom she had borne to Saul, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she had borne to Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Mahelathite. He delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them on the mountain before the Lord. Again, the Old Testament is gruesome. People get killed left and right. Hangings, stabbings with swords. It's horrible. The 7 of them fell together. They were put to death in the first days of harvest, in the beginning of the barley harvest. Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for herself on the rock from the beginning of the harvest until the rains poured on them from heaven. She did not allow the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the animals of the field by night. When David was told that Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, and what she had done, David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, who had secretly taken them from the plaza in Beth-shan, where the Philistines had hung them by day of the Philistines struck down Saul, where the Philistines had hung them the day the Philistines struck down Saul on Gilboa. He brought up the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from there, and they gathered the bones of those who had been hung. They interred the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son in the land of Benjamin at Zelah, in the tomb of Kish his father. They did everything that the king commanded. After that, God was entreated regarding the land. Interesting. All right, this next section is wars with the Philistines. So we're back to David encountering the Philistines. Now, once again, there was a battle between the Philistines and Israel. So David went down and his servants with him to fight the Philistines, and David grew weary. Now Ishbi-Benob, who was among the descendants of the giant, whose spear weighed 300 shekels of bronze, and who was armed with new weaponry, had said that he would strike David down. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, came to his aid. He struck down the Philistine and killed him. This is interesting that another giant is mentioned. For some reason, it seems that within the genetics of the Philistines, they are predisposed to turn out people who are larger than those of the Israelites, and they're defined as giants. That's interesting to me. I wonder why that would have been at that time. Then the men of David made an oath. Wait, did I? Yeah, then the men of David made an oath with him, saying, "You shall no longer come out with us to battle, so that you do not extinguish the lamp of Israel." Now afterwards there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbechai, the Hushathite, struck down Saph, who was among the descendants of the giant. Again, we have the giant being mentioned. Once again, there was a battle with the Philistines at Gob on this occasion. Elhanan, the son of Jer, Oregim, the Bethlehemite struck down Goliath, the Gittite, whose spear shaft was like a weaver's beam. Once again there was war at Gath. There was a man of stature who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number. And that's interesting that this is talked about, because oftentimes when people are considered to be giants, or have something within them genetically that creates excessive growth, they often do have an extra digit. There's some people who are spiritualists and who are also biblical scholars who feel that people who are born with 6 fingers and 6 toes are genetically linked to the Nephilim. So just something to research and think about if you want to. When he taunted Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shimeah, the brother of David, struck him down. Now these 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. All right, well, that's the end of chapter 21 of the second book of Samuel. Tomorrow, we'll go into the second book of Samuel, chapter 22. Very quickly on my other project, I do want to do an audio-only live stream in regards to what I was kind of briefly mentioning at the beginning of this particular Bible reading when it comes to that young woman that I'm concerned about, because even though I cannot directly communicate with her, because I'm not willing to put myself in that position, I am going to continue to cover her, because I just have a really bad feeling when it comes to how her story is going to conclude. So I do need to keep up with that. Anyway, I'll keep you all posted on that situation tomorrow over here, and we'll go into chapter 22 of the second book of Samuel. Have a good night, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.